everyone to the Equals Her Digital Skills Initiative Fireside chat session, which will focus on the power of e-mentoring to promote girls and women in STEM. My name is Tamara Dancheva, and I am an International Relations Manager with the GSMA, which represents the global mobile industry. I am pleased to say that today I will be joined by my colleague Lindsay Nefesh-Clark, founder of Women's World Wide Web, as well as Anna Jones-Cox with Verizon and Joanna with Ernst & Young. Today's session, of course, we will look into the power of e-mentoring, as the title of this session reveals, and in particular, really dive into, what is really e-mentoring and mentoring in general. Why is it important, especially to shape the future female talent, be it in the digital space, but also, of course, more widely. And how is actually the Equals Her Digital Skills providing these opportunities, for women like yourselves who have joined today to listen to us. Cautious that, of course, we are already behind time, I'm going to actually pass on to my colleague Lindsay to properly introduce Joanna, who is one of our mentors with EY, who is one of the 4 co-founders of Her Digital Skills, and really ask her a little bit more about her experience, why she signed up to the mentoring program, and what she, of course, also learned from her mentee. The format for today's session will be very much an interaction and a set of questions between our distinguished guests and mentors and mentees who have taken part in this program, because of course, at the end of the day, we want you to hear from them. We want you to really understand their experience and hopefully hopefully this will serve in turn to inspire you to sign up for this program or similar programs in the future. So Lindsay, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamara, and welcome everybody. And I would really like to thank the participants in today's fireside chat about the power of mentoring. And so indeed, it's wonderful to see you, Joanna, and it's an immense pleasure for me to briefly introduce Joanna, who has been a pioneering mentor in the very first cycle of our Her Digital Skills e-mentorship program earlier this year. Joanna Incube is from Johannesburg, South Africa, from a small town in the Vaal. And I know that Joanna, you'll talk about that a little bit later. Joanna studied accounting and then embarked on a very successful career, initially with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and then later with Ernst & Young as an assurance financial services manager. And when we launched the Her Digital Skills e-mentorship program back in March of this year, Joanna signed up to be one of the pioneering mentors in the program. So I'd like to dive straight in and ask you a question, Joanna. My question to you is, why did you decide to join the the Tech for Girls e-mentoring program as a mentor? There we go.
Thanks, Lindsay, and thank you for having me, everyone. And hi, how are you guys? I hope everyone is doing well. It's a bit windy this side, but that's South Africa for you. Well, looking at time, I had prepared such a long list, but it's best to just speak from the heart. When Equals actually joined with EY to actually, provide us with these opportunities as EY personnel, I remember actually that day very well. I was actually sitting there and I was thinking, oh my, I have so much work on my desk. I don't think I'm not gonna do it. But funny enough, that late night evening, I was sitting in bed and I was thinking about my matric year. Matric year in South Africa is your last year in high school. And usually that's the year you start thinking about university, bursary scholarships and all of that. So what happened is that, I applied to the universities, I was accepted. However, because I was the only child at home and I was quite shy back then, I didn't quite understand how to actually go and ask for, scholarships and all that. And people from my town thought, wow, she's the bright one. She obviously knows who to talk to and all that. And having all that pressure, I actually didn't know. And I thought, I wish I had someone, who could have helped me to navigate through, jumping from one stage of your life to the other. And unfortunately, my dad had to pay for that first year. And once I got to varsity, oh my, I was exposed to all that, resource, career fair, expos, and all these firms started coming. And I actually went to them and I asked them, I was like, I was nervous, but I asked, I was like, listen, this is my situation. They looked at my grades and they were in shock. They're like, wow, with these grades, why didn't you apply to us? And I was like, I didn't know. And from there, they actually gave me the scholarship. But then I started to wonder when I was sitting that night, I was like, if I was at that situation in life and there's these girls that could be maybe in my position that I was, why wouldn't I actually volunteer to be that person that I would have wanted at that time? And for me, the following morning, I was like, no, I'm signing up. I want to be, I want to help someone navigate through those stages, through this program. And I had a great time. And that's why I became a mentor.
Thank you so much, Joanna. I just want to say that without mentioning any names, we can say that your mentee said at the end of the mentoring program that it had been life-changing for her. It really had been transformational. Anyway, over to you, Tamara.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. And now I would like to introduce our second panelist for today, and of course, second mentor who took part in the Equals Her Digital Skills eMentoring program. And this is Anna Jones-Cox, who is the head of strategy, planning, and digital marketing for EMEA and APAC at Verizon Business, where she manages the advertising, media partnerships, social media handles, web content production, and the automation of data and reporting of the team. She's incredibly committed to various corporate social responsibility causes, not least gender equality and digital gender equality in particular. And apart from having participated, and I'm happy to say we continue to enjoy her support with Equals Her Digital Skills, she's also engaged with the committee of the Young Entrepreneurs Challenge at Verizon. So Anna, over to you for your thoughts on why did you join the Equals eMentoring program in the first instance, and why did Verizon actually decide to support Equals Her Digital Skills?
Hi, hello everyone, and thank you, Tamara, and also to the Ananke Summit for this amazing session. So when it goes back to just similar to what Joanna was saying, just thinking about my own circumstances and my own situation, I was at the point where I was offering mentoring to some of our internal staff, and I was looking at that, and actually the company itself, so Verizon, I'm really thankful for working there, because our CEO was very committed to making the company a lot more responsible in the environments that we are in and within the communities that we operate in. So the company has actually made multiple commitments across our CSR program to ensure that we get more people volunteering. So we have a commitment to offer 2.5 million volunteer hours by 2025 across all of our employees, get 500,000 individuals prepared for jobs by 2030, and also to have 10 million youths provided with digital skills training by 2030. So we're making great commitments to actually ensuring that we are making that difference to grassroots training for anyone who so that they can have access to these digital skills. But more so, just thinking about my own career, I spend so many times in my career I've walked into a meeting room surrounded completely by men and being that minority voice in the corner, and so I really wanted to offer that guidance and the knowledge that I've built up over the last 25 years of my own career and my own experience to those young girls coming out of school, or even in school, to kind of say, you know what, the things that you are doing, the things that you are experiencing today, they may not be in tech, they may not be in the world of work, but what you're experiencing, you can take those experiences and those skills that you have got and gathered throughout your education and take them into a workplace, and things like networking, things like basic skills like communication and basic skills like education and basic skills like talking to others and getting them to engage in different dynamics really is what is going to be more needed in the future than understanding the ins and outs of the technology. Yes, we do need to know those technologies because technology is changing the way that work is going. But ultimately, giving those individuals and giving those girls the confidence to know that they have that innate ability to do these senior level jobs, to become leaders in their own right, and make those decisions, make those changes so that more girls and women can get into the technology sector.
Thank you so much, Anna. And indeed, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of soft skills, right? And why it's equally important as we, of course, instill and teach basic digital skills, why it's needed that those go hand in hand with soft skills, because you're absolutely right. That is key for success in any career path, right? Be it at Verizon or in the mobile industry more broadly, be it at EY, be it at any other career path any of our young women choose to pursue. And that is exactly why, of course, we wanted to ensure that our young women who graduate from our workshops or from our digital skills training will get to experience these opportunities with you. So thank you once again for this really insightful perspective from your point of view. And now I would like to actually introduce Daisy Wachira, who is one of our current mentees. Daisy is originally from Kenya, and she is currently enrolled in the DIGI program at Robot Digital as a team lead, where she's actually training in data science and project management. But she's also providing training to younger women, younger than herself, and sometimes, of course, also other when it comes to basic digital skills. And in fact, she's been a Tech for Girls workshop trainer on several occasions. I'm incredibly excited to have her, of course, as a current mentee in the program, and also here with us today. So Daisy, the same question really, why did you decide to enroll in the Equals Tech for Girls eMentoring program and benefit from such an soft skills eMentoring program?
Okay, thanks, Tamara. So part of my background still, I'm also a fourth-year student. I'm a final year student at JKUAT, finishing my undergraduate. And so as I'm seeking, to come into the career world now fully, I really felt that, I need someone to boost, my education and career choices. I needed to, hear from somebody who has been where I am and who maybe has gone through the same journey as I have. And I also wanted, to just get empowered, and especially by a female role model who has been where I was. And I learned about the Equals eMentoring program through you, Tamara, during one of our Tech for Girls workshops. And I have really appreciated the work that Equals so far is doing in the her digital skills initiative. And so I was really excited about this eMentoring workshop that I can be part of. And when the opportunity actually came and I learned that, I'm going to get paired with a mentor who has been where I am, I was excited, and I can say it has been an interesting journey for me so far, and my expectations have been met. So yeah.
That's great to hear, and of course we'll dive into this a little bit more, because I'm sure that all of us certainly, and hopefully the audience, is really curious to find out how your expectations were met, because this is exactly why we do what we do, right? And it's really important that we encourage all of our listeners today to really go for it and explore these opportunities, because I also didn't have access to these kind of programs when I was growing up, and I wish I did, right? And so we cannot emphasize enough, take these opportunities if you can. It will be well worth it. With that being said, I want to turn over to Lindsay, I'm cautious, of course, that unfortunately one of our second mentee was unable to join us today, but nonetheless, Lindsay, I believe we can share a little bit about her experience, because of course she kindly provided an interview for Equals team on her experience. So Lindsay, over to you for a few words about that.
Thank you. So just to say, actually, I would invite everybody who's tuned in today really to head over to the equalsintech.org platform. So it's the Equals platform. And if you go to Her Digital Skills, you will discover a recent interview with one of the mentees in the first cycle of the eMentoring program, Twana Barrett from Jamaica, a brilliant young woman from Jamaica. Unfortunately, I don't think Twana will be able to join us today, but you will be able to read in that interview, you know, how Twana benefited from the eMentoring program, and she said it was transformational. I mean, there are lots of things that she shares in that article, in that interview, but certainly, you know, key points, for example, that I loved, you know, that the eMentoring relationship enabled Twana to really discover her leadership skills and discover what kind of leader she is, boosted her confidence to really embrace her professional goals. You'll discover what those professional goals are if you head over there and read the article. And you know, really, and Twana said it was a life-changing, a positively life-changing experience, which is wonderful. And I believe too, like as you said, Tamara, unfortunately, you know, at this sort of, you know, key transition period in one's life, where either you're considering what your you know, your studies are going to be, or you're embarking on your career path, this opportunity to connect with a mentor can be, without exaggeration, positively life-changing. And so we do encourage everybody who's tuning in today to explore these opportunities. I'd like now to come back to you, Joanna, and ask you a second question, if I may. I'm keen to hear from you. How do you think that such mentorship opportunities can empower young women who are hoping to break into the tech sector and to become future leaders? So, and what difference do you think the program, maybe I can make this?
Lindsay, you're breaking up a bit, but maybe I can repeat the last part of the question, and that is, what difference do you think the program made for your mentee, Joanna? Over to you.
Sure. Thank you. So, wow, I have a lot to say. Actually, I would have loved for Twana to be here, but obviously I understand. You know, going through this journey with Twana, it was not only life-changing for her, but also for me as a mentor. But to be really honest, if you're a young lady, you know, that's looking into, you know, joining this program as a mentee, to be really honest, you're going to learn a lot about yourself in a safe environment. What I've noticed is that when I started actually chatting to Twana, I noticed that the mentor and the mentee relationship at first, if it's not within a safe environment, you know, you tend to not be really open. And what I made sure in this program is that, you know, Twana doesn't feel a bit intimidated, because she would be, at first I noticed that she was like, oh my, I'm chatting to this awesome young lady that went through this, I need to talk in a certain manner. I was like, no, Twana, forget all that, put that on the side, you know, forget that, you know, just tell me who you are, what's happening, and what's really going on, you know. And you know, as we went through the program, you know, she started to, you know, notice a lot about us. How she's like, oh my God, you know, I've noticed that I'm insecure about this. I didn't notice that, you know, this is the real problem for my weakness. And we started actually going into deeper, you know, into understanding that. And as we go through the journey, she learned a lot about herself. And she voluntarily, you know, as we started, you know, going through each step by step, she was very open to it. And because she felt so safe in that environment, she could talk to me. For me, I saw her literally blossom. The other item is that, as Anna mentioned, we equip you with these, you know, soft skills, these personal skills, these interpersonal skills that, you know, you might have the education, you might have the resources, but these little things, you know, as you go out there in the public, you need to be able to master, you need to be able to understand yourself, apply yourself using what you have, you know, to conquer. And once you understand who you are, and once you understand your capabilities and having these skills, what I've noticed with her is that she started having this confidence boost. Now she started asking certain questions that, you know, would start being more realistic in her goal set. You know, instead of someone looking at, okay, my life goals is this and this, she was like, no, let's first break it down and let's be realistic. I want to now first start here. How do I apply myself here? I've noticed that as a team, one of the program items was teamwork and problem skills. And she's like, you know, I've got a problem with this and this. I tend to do this, but I want to change it. How do I go about it? You know, and she would come with a solution. I was like, let's make it practical. Let's step back, you know, and it's not only about career, it's also about yourself. You know, if we don't first start here and we first with how we think, you know, you won't be able to go forward. And that's the beauty of this program. You learn about yourself in a safe environment, and you are equipped with certain skills that actually boost your confidence for you now to know how to apply them in going forward. And I would strongly recommend anyone, even mentors, please, the idea that you don't have time and all that, or you need to have achieved a certain, that is not true. That is not true. Just being yourself and talking to someone, you get to actually learn about yourself also, that it's not really about knowing things. It's just, you know, navigating through life. Share your experience, and you get to see how much you're helping someone else. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you so much. And maybe Tamara, just before I hand back to you, I do want to say that, you know, there is of course a rigorous, let's say, an impact measurement methodology that we're using, and you know, we're really seeing that this mentoring program is boosting young women's confidence in a measurable way. So this is wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I would now like to turn to Anna with the same question. So Anna, I mean, firstly, you know, how can such mentoring programs really empower young women, especially as they think about taking their next steps, becoming future leaders, and hopefully entering our industry? And what difference do you think the program made for your own mentee?
Yeah, so I think there's some programs like it really do open that door to the real world of work, to these young ladies. It helps them realise, like I said earlier, it helps them realise those skills that they can transfer into the tech sector. And they may not realise what it is that they've got to offer, but actually it gives them that confidence boost. It gives them that that realization that actually they can do this, and it kind of helps them dispel that imposter syndrome. If anyone knows, and no matter how old you are, everyone experiences that level of imposter syndrome. So it is like Joanna said, it's getting it right in your head is really what's key. So focusing on yourself, and then understanding what it is that you're bringing to that table, and then having the confidence to talk about it. The tech sector is constantly evolving, so you've got to continue to think about, and this is one of the things that I had with my mentee. She did have goals. She had very kind of specific goals that she wanted to achieve, and we started to unpack that in that safe environment, and really helping her to understand actually it's not just these short-term goals that she was so focused on trying to achieve. It was actually looking at this kind of longer term and saying, okay, if you said that this is your short-term goal, what's your next step after that? Because you know you're going to achieve it. And she was like, well, really, am I? It's kind of like, well, yes, you are going to achieve it. It's like, I mean, this whole experience was amazing for both parties. It isn't all just on the mentee, and it isn't all just kind of giving this advice to the mentee, but because when I was writing my responses to her, I was actually then realizing, oh my gosh, I need to be doing some of this myself. So yeah, it was so kind of empowering for both parties, because I was giving her the advice that I hoped to have received when I was starting off in my career, but also kind of coming back to that, just thinking, okay, I need to do this, and it's helping me in my current job to deal with difficult situations at work, and deal with challenging colleagues, or deal with challenging projects, or being asked to do a task that actually you didn't think that you could do, but when you come out of the back of it, hey, you've done it, and you then spend that time celebrating those wins. So that was really kind of something that we both got from each other. So yeah, and that whole kind of cycle on a weekly basis, I'm just so I was so blown away by it. I was blown away by her knowledge of technology, and but her kind of putting herself down and thinking actually she wasn't able to do this, but actually she was so capable. So it was just reiterating that kind of, you've got this, you can do it, and having that person in the background saying you can do it, and then hearing week over week from her to say, actually I've made this change based on what you the advice that you gave me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much impact on this person's life. It was a little bit scary as well, but it was like, oh my goodness, she's taking my advice, she's making a change, and actually she's seeing the benefit of it. And it wasn't just for her. So the mentee that I had, she was a little bit older, she had a family of her own, and so the changes she was making in her career, it was actually impactful for her whole family. It wasn't just her as an individual, it was making a difference to her whole family and in her community. So yeah, it was. And kind of when you think about these mentorship programs, people always focus on the mentees and the success that they have, but actually from a mentor perspective, I got so much more out of this and I would recommend any mentor, anyone who's thinking about becoming a mentor. It's a great step in terms of, if you've never done it before, have a go, because the return that you get from doing this program it's out of this world. I can't recommend it enough.
Thank you so much, Anna. What a great way to end your intervention. I mean, this is exactly what we want to hear, and I'm so delighted, really. And you're so right. I think very often we think it's a one-way street, and it isn't. You're so right, because yes, of course, this is an mentoring program tailored towards young women who need these mentoring opportunities. But as you said, it's equally enriching and empowering for you, for Joanna, for any mentor that chooses to enroll. And this is something we should not forget, right? Because that is when you really reach, real impact, I would say, and success, really. So I'm so happy to hear that you had such a positive experience.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that someone else is flourishing from something that you've allowed them to, or you've imparted to them, even though it might, for me, it's like, well, this is just every day, but actually for her it was something greater. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think, again, like just also listening to you were discussing safe space, and that is also so important. And the fact that you were even coaching her right through her long-term goals. I mean, this is really why we're doing this, right? Because in the first instance, it's building this confidence. It's creating this kind of, opportunity really for our mentees to really open up and take advantage of the opportunity. I mean, yes, we provide a curriculum for a number of reasons, right? But that is exactly what we also encourage both mentors and mentees to do. Make the curriculum your own, and do actually, engage in this from your heart. And think about, as you said, Anna, think about the big picture. How is this helping you with your long-term goals, right? And as you said, of course they can do it. They just need that little push. Lindsay, I see you have your hand raised. So before I give the floor to Daisy,
I just need to say that I really appreciate the discussion today, and the wonderful testimonials from Joanna and Anna. And to say that I loved what you said. I think mentoring is such a powerful way for women and men, but to support and mentor women to break the imposter syndrome and to really boost their confidence. It really is.
Thank you, Lindsay. And now I want to turn to Daisy and really ask her, from her perspective, what has she learned so far from her mentor, and how is the program helping with your career and personal ambitions and goals?
Thanks for your question, Tamara. I will also insist what Anna was saying and Joanna, the ones who talked before me, and they insisted on, this is a safe space. I've been through mentorship before, but sometimes you are going through mentorship, but you feel patronized. You are not being your real self. But in this one, in this e-mentoring, from my experience, I have my own dashboard. I have the modules. I know what we are going to cover next with my mentor. And I also get to read before. I have those materials that I get to go through before without without a third person influencing what I'm going to, what I'm thinking about myself. So as I tick on my strengths, I'm doing it like from myself, and also my mentor, she's called Ami. I really don't really know her, so it becomes easier for me, to show her the real self of me without the worry of she might be judgmental, she might be critical, but you just get to really express yourself, and it has been a great self-realization path for me. I'm currently I finished the 3rd week, and so far I've been able to realize my passions, my strengths, and my weaknesses. For example, when I talk about my strengths and weaknesses, I actually got to realize that I have a problem with time management. Before, I might have just taken it for granted. I got late to class. Next time I'll try. But I really took time to do a retrospect on myself, and I also did a retrospect on my passions and where so far the journey, how it has been for me. I got to acknowledge that there's some things that I take for granted and they've been wins for me, and that encourages me to even get further, break that ceiling. So because you've already done it before, you didn't realize it. And I also got to learn about my strengths. I learned that, for example, in my strengths, I came to learn that, I can be analytical. I'm a good team player. I also learned that among my passions, I love empowering women. And, these were just confirmations on the programs that I've been involved with, like the Tech for Girls. And as I choose my career path in data science and machine learning, it has actually made me now gain the confidence that, this was actually meant for me and I can do it. And another part, okay, the main part that I would say about this mentorship so far, what has, as I came in, when we talk of mentorship for girls in the tech industry, we want to learn the hard skills. You want to be, you want to gain the hard skills, the hard technical skills. But for now, I actually got to appreciate the role that soft skills play, not only in my interactions with my colleagues, but in my social life, with my friends, with my family. I mean, these are things that, I might have, you just take them for granted. I mean, proper communication, effective communications, things go bad, and you don't know how, you don't know how to save the situation. But for now, I'm well aware that we have social soft skills that are very, very, very critical in my interactions with people, and they make life more bearable and much more easy. And yeah, so I think that has been the main take for me on the soft skills that we are being taught there, and I got to appreciate them. Thanks, Tamara.
Thank you so much, Daisy. It's again so insightful to hear, from your perspective. And I mean, to be honest, this is exactly why we wanted to create the program in such a format, because for us, creating this safe space was really important. And therefore, being able to, as you said, log in, go to your dashboard, look through your curriculum and weekly, of course, agenda for your topic in advance. Knowing that, of course, the message you send to your mentor is fully confidential, and not there's no one or nothing that can really kind of interfere in that process, because the goal is also to be yourself, right? Because you will not be able to realize your ambitions and really learn unless you feel safe, unless you feel you can express your fears, your thoughts, share your challenges with your mentor, and then realize what you need to work on. So it's really insightful. And I know we also wanted to hear, a little bit from our audience, but as a last point, I think we all wonder, Daisy, kind of what are the next steps, right? Like what do you want to do next? And also, would you recommend this program to your peers, and if so, why?
Of course, I would recommend this program to my peers, and not necessarily my peers, just every other girl out there who feels that, that she's in the need to feel empowered. Because as I've said, these are very safe space for you. You actually, sometimes even, you're just going through the materials by yourself, discovering yourself. And then once you've discovered about yourself, you have your weaknesses, you have your strengths, you have someone to talk to, someone who has been there, or even someone who has more knowledge than you, or someone you're just sharing with. So you get to get a third person to also help you realize yourself and empower you. And from this mentorship, now that I'll be done with school in December, and I'll be going into the, I'm hoping to go into the workplace. I'm obviously looking for internships. So I feel it came at the right time, because I also realized, like, those soft skills, I've come to appreciate them in the workplace now. I feel I'll be more empowered to go and interact with colleagues there, and not just shy away because I'm a junior. I mean, you could have the tech skills, but I also have some, and I also have the soft skills with me. I feel I have a portfolio of myself. I feel as I write my CV now, I have some skills to put there, and not basically maybe coding or anything, but generally how I interact with people. And these skills I also learned, they're so, from the resources shared there, I also got to learn that they're so important, as I'm also seeking to do project management. And I actually got to ask myself, who's a project manager without soft skills? How am I going to interact with these people? So it has been a period for me to reflect, and I'm also going to support such initiatives now that I'm out of school. I'll have more time, so I hope to be part of the equals and in any other initiatives that we have for women empowerment. And I'm also seeking to transfer these skills, especially to the girls in my village, and challenge them, and expose them and empower them to dare to dream and work for what they believe in. So that so far has been so far to the week 3. That's the impact it has had on me, and I'm looking to the modules that are ahead of me, where I learn about time management, which is actually a weakness on my side. I'll also learn about leadership, and I know at the end of it, if we'll have more time, I can come back and share now the whole experience once I'm done with the mentorship. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daisy. And I really like what you said about your community, right? And I mean, you said it, research says it, right? If you empower a girl, you empower a village, you empower society, community, the whole country, the whole world. And I mean, this is what it's about, right? And this is why we also, for us, it's important, right, to understand not just how we're benefiting you, of course, and our mentees, but how are they benefiting their communities, right? And of course, it's a little bit more difficult to measure this kind of impact you're making, but it's equally important. Now, I know we have roughly 5 minutes left, and Sabine has just flagged that we have a question from the floor. So Sabine, maybe if I give the floor over to you to share the question we just received, and of course, we can determine who needs to answer it. Thank you.
Sure. It's from Mehreen Ali. Is mentorship in general for those who are still struggling to be somewhere? How do those already in tech industry or higher tech degrees look for mentorship outside their work circle?
I think this one is for Anna and Joanna, perhaps, to one of you. Yeah, Anna, go ahead.
Sure. So mentorship isn't just for when you're starting out or struggling in your career. So even today, I still get mentored. So 25 years into my career, I'm still being mentored for the things that I want to change in my own career. So throughout your career, you need to find the right mentor for yourself. And those people can come in different guises. They could be within your work circle, but also outside of your work circle. So the way that I find my own mentees is mentors, is to ask my network. So if there is someone that has got a skill that I'm missing, I feel like I'm missing, or I need to expand on, and I see them in either in the workplace or in a Zoom call, or in some other meeting or some other engagement, I will actually approach them, and you'll be really surprised over how many times someone will say no to you. If you go to them and say, listen, I saw you doing this, and I felt like you did really well. I'm really struggling in that area. Would you mind just spending like 15 minutes with me, and so that we can have a quick chat about that, how you do that, and if you can give me a bit of advice, I'd really appreciate it. And that's something that actually 9 times out of 10, the person is going to say, hey, you know what, I can make a 15-minute meeting with you. And it starts that conversation. And then if you build that rapport with that person, then you can ask them, actually, would you mind could we have another call in like 2 months time or a month's time, or some, set a kind of schedule, and it's up to them to say yes or no. But you've got to find someone who you gel with, who you want to ask that question of throughout your career, not just at the start.
Thank you, Joanna.
I agree 100%. With maybe just touching on the equals and the tech girls, these are young ladies from different stages in their lives. It's not only young girls in school, varsity or starting. They could be like, as I don't know, mentioned, there's someone who was literally had a family and all that. So it's literally anyone is welcome within this program. From my side, to be honest, I changed careers. I used to work at a different firm. Now working at a different firm, I was new, and I was just thrown, into certain spheres because of, my experience and qualifications. However, I've noticed that, when you start going into certain firms at work, you are allocated certain counselors or mentor, but sometimes you really do not, click with them, or you want to learn certain skills, or certain, you notice how you admire, you want to learn certain things. What I've noticed from my career path, especially in the corporate world, is, we tend to don't want to step on certain people's toes, and you don't want to actually reach out and say, hi, is it possible that maybe we can have a chat? I've noticed I'm not really connecting. And it's a difficult conversation, but it must be done. It must be had. And it's good to have it with the person, because then that person can actually recommend someone, that can actually, you connect with. I really like what Anna said, because I literally went straight to my boss and I was like, I really liked how you did 1, 2. Is it possible if, we could have tea every, once a month, we can chat about this and you can mentor? And he was like, sure, no, I'd love that. Please set that time. And I learned a lot, and not only career-wise, he also started sharing, his personal experiences, how this was affecting and how it would affect work and how you must start dealing with that. And I noticed that, I was actually going through the same thing and I just didn't know, how to go about it. So sometimes, it depends. You need to really assess your environment. And, it's either you approach someone and then you start the relationship going forward, or you really need to look at where you are and sit back and have the difficult conversation. But yes, having a mentor, I know with myself, I have a mentor at work and also for personal reasons. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone within the firm that you're in. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tamara.
So
Sabine, go ahead.
So I'll just read out Marine's message quickly. Thanks, Anna and Johanna. 15-20 minutes sounds very much doable for mentor's side. I agree it is difficult to say to people at work that you're missing some skill instead of always trying to cover up things.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And I'm also happy we got to hear from our participants today on what they thought, right? And because also, the goal is to learn, right? To learn as you go and to learn from all of our experiences on today's call. So I'm so happy that, we've managed also to spark this debate through our conversation. We are slightly running behind time. So what I would like to do is give the floor to Daisy and Lindsay for some really quick last remarks, and then we will close off the call with our Her Digital Skills video. It's a 2-minute video which really explains why we're doing what we're doing and what it's all about. So maybe Daisy, first to you for some very quick last thoughts, and then Lindsay, and I'll play the video. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tamara. So I'll take this opportunity to thank all the partners and all the organizers and all the wonderful mentors out there who are taking part in this eMentoring, and also the mentees who are taking part in this eMentoring program. And I know the efforts are not being wasted. People are benefiting from it, and it will help us in the end goal of both equals and all the partners in the program. And either voluntarily or involuntarily, the people you interact with, they really influence you and who you become. And so I would encourage anyone who feels that they are ready, and not really ready, but they are able to participate into this mentorship program, please join it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. And once you are there, just be yourself, take the modules as they are, and the impact will be felt even by those you interact with. Because I mean, once I gain those soft skills, the way I interact with my friends, they'll see a difference. And someone might ask, Daisy, and I can tell them, there's a mentorship program. There are courses that you can take, and you will learn from them. And we are also able to influence other girls who are behind us. As I go now to speak to girls, I'm better equipped. I'm aware. I am aware, and I'm exposed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Lindsay?
Thank you. I really want to say a special thank you to Joanna, Anna, and Daisy for joining today's discussion. It's really reflected, this discussion today, it's really reflecting the very, very positive, promising results that we're observing from the mentorship program. But of course, the mentorship program can only be a success thanks to you as mentors and mentees, and the other mentors and mentees who have taken part in the Her Digital Skills eMentorship program. And I just, as I was listening to today's discussion, I was really thinking, it's, when you have powerful women come together, mentors and mentees, the growth of that power is exponential. It's really so inspiring to hear the positive impact both ways, for mentors, for mentees. So just a really, really big thank you to you for being available today to share your insights, and also to all the mentors and mentees who've taken part so far, because we're collectively creating this program together, and it's a program that I think has huge potential. Obviously, a key message to the audience that please do get involved as a mentor or a mentee, or actually both, because as we've heard from our wonderful mentors today, they also continue to be mentored. And finally, a big thank you to Sabine and the Ananke team for enabling today's panel discussion, for bringing us all together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsay. And of course, I share my warm thanks to all of you, to Anna, Joanna, Daisy, for, of course, joining us today, for Verizon and EY for supporting the initiative. And on that note, I'll quickly play the video. And again, thank you everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's session.
Internet access has played a critical role during the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet almost half of the world's population remains offline, while 90% of future jobs will require digital skills. And currently, less than 20% of tech jobs are held by women. These shortfalls give rise to gender workforce gaps and generate technologies that fail to meet the needs of women and girls. To ensure equal opportunities to develop digital skills, the Equals Global Partnership aims to create an unstoppable movement where women and girls are equal partners in the digital technology revolution and can benefit from job opportunities through a new initiative to boost her digital skills. The platform includes 3 complementary components: the Tech for Girls workshops, introducing technical knowledge and education needed for careers in technology; The Equals Badge program, offering free digital skills training and certification to boost women's chances of pursuing their goals. The eMentoring program, connecting companies from among the tech and mobile industries with emerging talent to increase interest, involvement and awareness to reduce the tech gender gap. In 6 months, the workshops and eMentoring program have benefited thousands of girls and young women in 10 countries across 4 continents, with 95% of participants improving their knowledge of science, technology, engineering and mathematics career paths, and their confidence to pursue tech training and careers.
To give those girls an advice of they can do everything. They have to be proud of themselves, to be confident. They have to believe in themselves.
Every story counts. The impact won't just be measured in numbers. It's also about the individual stories we're fortunate to help shape. That's why Equals is committed to elevate her digital skills to reach 1 million girls and young women by 2026, in line with our ambition to fulfill the SDGs and generation equality. Join the movement by visiting equalsintech.org.
And on that note,
Yes, Tamara, please go on.
apologies, these are the risks of live intervention and sharing content on YouTube. But I just wanted to say on that note, of course, also thanks to Sabine, thanks to the Ananke Summit for inviting us, and really thanks to all the young women, and hopefully we also had some young men who joined us, because I also think, and just to end on that note, unless we get the men and the boys on board, we cannot do it, right? And so thank you once again.
Absolutely. We cannot leave anyone behind. By anyone I mean everyone. So thank you so much, Lindsay, Tamara, Anna, Daisy, Johanna. It has been a wonderful session, so engaging and so impactful. Thank you so much. And for our viewers, stay tuned for Gender Security Project panel. It is an interactive session on feminist foreign policy. So thank you.